Hello, Youngaz Aquarius females. Welcome to your divine protection reading. Let's not talk about my outfit. I am not well right now, so I'm doing what I need to do so that I can do what I need to do. Okay? I'm here. So let's see. Your divine protection messages. Youngaz Aquarius females. Okay. So we have physical health, and we have communication. The underlying issue is unconfident. Friend, principled, idle, dissatisfied. So I'm getting like a growth delay or a delay in maturity. So someone's communication is poor. Physical health, communication. So could that be yours? So this would suggest to me that you're having a lot of conflict with a lot of different people because you don't quite know how to express yourself clearly. Okay? Which is a common problem for a lot of people. So, one thing I can tell you about communication, a lot of the times it's not what you say, but how you say it. How you say it is very important. So, know when to end a sentence, know when to not leave a sentence like that. Because for me, I used to like say what I mean. I used to be very blunt. Well, I am still very blunt, but there are some situations that being a bit more soft in my delivery, it works better than being very blunt and saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Sometimes you have to be diplomatic. Can I think of a can we come up with an example? So if you know somebody somewhere where they're not supposed to be, you can say, "What are you doing here?" Or you can say, like you could mention a reason why it's not good for them to be here. You could say, Dad doesn't really appreciate you being here. Are you trying to get me in trouble? Or instead of saying, "Are you trying to get me in trouble?" you could say, like, "Dad doesn't want you to be here, and if he finds you here, I'm gonna get into trouble." You see? So you could say, "What are you doing here?" which sounds quite defensive and offensive at the same time. Or you could be more subtle and say, "My dad doesn't really like you being here. If he finds you here, I'm gonna be in trouble." And that's like you saying leave now without saying leave now. Okay, so that's just a little example there. So yeah, but it's something that we all have to practice to do. I didn't just wake up and start knowing how to communicate effectively. Effectively meaning being able to deliver war language when I want it to be received as war language, and being able to deliver peace language when I want it to be delivered as peace language. Okay? So a lot of our problems is we deliver things in a perceived warlike manner when we actually mean it from the sincerest parts of our heart and without hostility. You know? So it takes some practice to master the art of communication. So don't feel too bad. Just work on it. I've given you an example. You can do some Google searches, because You could just about find anything you want to know on Google now these days. But use your discernment, because some people may have it mixed up and that. Even with me, you know, make sure that you're understanding what I'm saying and understanding what other people are telling you. Make sure that their formulas work before you program yourself in that manner. So it's like everybody thinks that you're getting under their skin when that's not really what it is. Look, you have stand up for yourself, and the underlying issue is bullying. So if your messages are not being received the way that you intend them to be received, God is saying stand up for yourself and explain yourself. So we have spend quality time with parents. Think first, then act. Listen to them and then decide for yourself. Okay, so the underlying issue for you standing up for yourself is against bullying. So if you're communicating with someone and they're receiving you incorrectly and then they lash back out at you, we have spent quality time with parents. Now, parents is a more mature energy. So God is saying, get into your more mature energy. Think first and then act. And make sure that you listen to them and then decide for yourself. So if someone's misperceiving what you're saying and that make them angry, so they lash out on you, God is saying, time to slip on your mature behavior. Be patient. Breathe slowly, calmly. Listen to them without saying a word. So when they're communicating with you, a lot of the times people listen to communicate back. They don't really listen to understand the person's point of view. So if you listen so that you can understand their point of view before you offer any comebacks or any rebuttals, just so you can understand where they're coming from, because they might highlight something about your way of communicating that you don't realize. So in the midst of this heated exchange, you just may gain some wisdom. So keep calm, because the universe is working on this quality of yours anyway. So keep calm while they're responding to how they perceived what you said. Okay, don't be offended, because they're actually offended by accident. You understand? You didn't intend to offend them. So they're not truly offended. They just think they are. Okay? Then you will have a chance to explain yourself and your side of things. Okay? So God is saying, don't allow them to misunderstand you. But make sure you listen to them. Respond calmly. And do your best to soften your response to them. Okay? By using your tone of voice correctly, and also the words that you choose to communicate to them. Choose your words wisely. Or even start with letting them know, look, I am terrible at communicating. I'm actually working on this thing, because a lot of people think that I'm being mean when I really am not. And it's hard. So forgive me if I've offended you. I didn't mean to, type of energy. So you start it by explaining yourself from what position you're actually at, so they can know. Some of them will believe you, some of them won't. But at least you've spoken your piece, so the universe will definitely come in and help you, yeah? It's an art, it's a skill. Everybody doesn't have it. So imagine how many people you've communicated with in the past who you may have perceived them to be rude, but they weren't trying to be rude, you know? That's why in life, well, there's a part in the Bible that says, be slow to wrath, be slow to anger. Some of us just have gangster parents and gangster friends, and we only know how to communicate in gangster. So when it comes to being professional, being mature, you just don't know how. So now you have to learn. It's like living in two different worlds, you know. Because your road behavior is not going to be okay in an office, for example. You see what I'm saying? So I think that this is what your problem is. Something like that. And that you are just being yourself, but in different environments, different requirements are needed or are made of us, you know. So you have to know how to switch it up. Okay, so we have the sword and the rose: clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. So that's talking about the clarity that I was saying. Sometimes it's good to explain your position as far as communication goes. If you're not great at communicating, just tell them straight, sorry, yeah, I usually get this. People usually feel like I'm being rude when I'm not. I'm working on it, but it's not very easy. Okay, so the underlying issue, we have the golden mirror: self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Then we have seduction. It says attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third party interference. And we have not today. It says not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call, or person, boundaries, still angry. So let's see what that is saying. So it's about clarity, self-absorbed, and then, yeah, so it's like, this is how people see you. People will see you as being self-absorbed. People will see you as being like one-sided. Okay? But even when you're trying to be nice, the seduction card, because they already see you as being self-absorbed or just communicating any old how, that's their perception of you. So they don't want to deal with you. So now you're gaining the clarity of what's going on. And also clarity need to be spoken, like I said, about how you do have these issues when it comes to communication. Okay, your communication may seem self-absorbed, may seem narcissistic, may seem one-sided at times, may seem rougher than you actually meant it to be received. Okay? But really and truly, you are a nice person. So there's no need to be offended. But I can understand why you're offended. Okay? I apologize. Here, then we got sunglasses: watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. So now that's the person thinking. And then we have kisses. Yeah, it says unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. So it's like once you explain yourself to them, once you give the people you're communicating to this clarity about your personality, then they can see you from the right perception. And then they'll be able to kind of be as accommodating as possible. You still get on their nerves sometimes, and they probably will tell you, that is so annoying. But they'll help you in the process as well. Like, instead of saying this, you could have said that. I went through that, my dear. Trust me. You just have to humble yourself. Because look, coming next, we have the butterfly. So this pure positive energy is a relationship evolving in the to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. Yeah, so you just have to explain to your people what's going on. Then we have the phoenix coming. That's more, it says new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation. Then we have I like you. And then we have talking. And yeah, so you get the message. All right. So they just need to understand your personality so that they will know how to accommodate you. Okay, let's get the next message. So the cards we have to come out, we have completion, misguided. We have immature, and then we have cooking. So there will be an end to this misguided energy. So this is a continuation from your last message. So by you expressing yourself, it's going to complete this misguided energy that's between you and the people that you communicate with. We got immature and cooking. It's like it was making people upset. It was making them think and want to plot all types of things naturally because they think that you're offending them. But God is going to bring an end to that by you sharing where you're at in your communication development. So the underlying issue here, handler or controller. We have I was hired, shopping, low self-esteem, but then God came in, so the magic will backfire. Okay, so let's see what this is saying. Go away, fly. So handler or controller, I was hired. I was hired. Shopping for low self-esteem. So it's like God is saying this could have been disastrous because you've probably already started feeling some of this energy, but that's the reason why God has come in. Because God see that it's starting to affect you now. So God is coming in to stop that. So the handler, the controller in this here is God. I was hired. God hired itself. Yeah, God hired itself because it sees what you were actually acquiring. You were acquiring low self-esteem. So yeah, God just had to step in and say, yeah, no more of that. Let's turn this ship around. Let's gain some control of these. What is a ship? Or is it a rudder? The ship steering wheel thingy-majiggy. Let's get your next message. Okay, so we have depressed, slutty, miserable. The underlying issue here is peacemaker. So it's like you could have just easily turned into this. But now all these qualities, these destructive qualities are being dismantled. You being miserable and you just not valuing yourself and sharing yourself or doing whatever you want with yourself when you want to, just because I guess when you're having sex, there's no arguing, you know. So once you're not communicating with your words, then you'll be getting along just fine with people. So now instead of like talking to people, you might just decide, yeah, let's just fuck, because I might say some dumb shit, and then this might just turn into what I did not want it to be in the first place. So God is depressing this type of energy and this type of energy. Okay? So you don't have to feel like you can't talk to people for fear of it blowing up into an argument, or, met with resistance and hostility. There'll be peace. Peacemaker. And you'll be exalted instead. Okay? So, let's get your last message. Whoa. Okay, so your last message. First card we have is loss of property. And we have loss of opportunity, loss of mobility, and then we have a flat line. Nothing at all. So let's see what that's saying. I'm getting clean slate. So this inability to communicate clearly has really shut doors for you. You've probably lost some stuff because you don't know how to communicate well. You've probably shut doors on opportunities, and you've stopped yourself from being mobile, whereas mobility is the ability to move around, the ability to move forward in life. It doesn't have to be a physical mobility. It could actually be just your ability to progress in life. God is giving you a new slate, a clean slate. So that's your message. Okay, so God is saying, don't worry about this. They're about to make you into a new version of yourself. We're about to upgrade you. So you need to have some faith in God's guidance. Okay, and also use your own intelligence. Remember, it says listen to others, but you decide for yourself how you want to go forward in life, what you want to choose in life. Do what makes sense to you. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to be like anybody else. You need to be like Aquarius, female, whoever you are. Okay, so nobody has the formula 100% figured out. So you have to know the formula for you. Yeah? So that you can be received the way that you hope to be received. Which doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that people are going to always receive you in the right way. It doesn't mean that you're going to always be calm enough to express yourself in the way that you want to be received. Don't put that type of pressure on yourself. Just flow. But at least by you knowing what your problem is, by you working on that problem, you will be successful in managing it more times than not. So get ready for a better tomorrow. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So the future is much brighter than what you're coming from. That's the good news. So you're about to get an upgrade in your ability to communicate, and that's going to open up more doors for you. It's going to keep your relationships in harmony more times than not. So you got great things to look forward to, Aquarius. So good luck going forward with this. I've already been through mine. How was it for me? I could tell you how it was for me, but that don't mean it's going to be the same for you. But for me, I had moments where within myself I felt guilty or miserable, like the card was saying. I felt guilty because I don't like to offend people, and it's not like I actually offended them in the first place, but they were receiving me as such. But once I realized what my problem is, I started going about changing it. I started going about expressing myself. I started, how the hell did I even learn about to I used to read some books, that's why. So now the knowledge that I got from those books and I applied that, now I can teach you. Because I don't remember what the name of the books were. But I do remember learning that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's not what you did, it's why you did it. All these kind of things, these are lessons that came across me on my path, and these are things that helped me to realize where I was going wrong and how I can straighten up and regain more control over my quality of life, you know? So God put me through these things and now I'm using them to teach you guys. So this is a bit that I know so far, and now I'm able to communicate with you guys. Sometimes I could tell when my volume is too high, I just turn it down, or my energy is too erratic, so I just pull it back together, you know, so that, because I'm aware now of how I'm being perceived, or at least I'm somewhat aware, because I could be wrong. But it's like being able to think for someone. So it's like if you're a hairdresser and you're plaiting someone's hair, you can actually put yourself in their shoes so that you can be ahead of the game as to how tight you're plaiting that plait. Because you have to think, if you've ever had your hair plaited tight before, then you know when you go home and you put your head down, it's gonna feel even tighter when your head touched the pillow, right? So you'll know how much tension to apply so that when they go home, they have some space for the hair to feel a little bit tighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's about being able to think ahead for others. Yeah. So it's like, before you say what you're saying, God did say think first and then act. So before you say what you're saying or you do what you're doing, kind of have a little think about how it may be perceived, what the repercussions may be, and stuff like that, because that will help you to not make the mistake in the first place, you know. So hopefully this information has helped you, and I do wish you the very best. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.